What a time to be alive.
Crabtendo.
What is going on, peoples? I am back at it again, and I want to talk about the music theory behind the song Life is Good, which is Future's new song featuring Drake, and is produced by two newcomers, or at least new to me, and that is Oz and D Hill, and it is a two-track type beat, or more or less it has a change up like sicko mode. Now I definitely want to hear in the comment section of how you feel about this track. In my opinion, I think it's pretty good. I think it's above average. I mean, I really like Future's verse, even though Drake's verse sounds like Future wrote it, and it's okay, but Future's verse is really, really good. I think it really fits the track. I mean, it feels really good nonetheless, but I definitely want to hear from you in the comment section of how you feel about this song, and I'm going to talk about, you know, different things, especially like the drums and stuff like that, or just the melody for this case, because I do feel like the drums, again, is the weakest part of this track, even though it does fit the modern style of music, but that's just my opinions though. Let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about the beat that Drake rapped on and the music theory behind that one before I make it. And it is a G minor scale. So it's a G minor, starts off with a G minor chord, fifth. And you can see at the top left part of the screen, you can see it says G5, so it's a G. I wish that FL would implement playing scales or playing chords. And yeah, G minor, then F major, and you see an F at the top left part of the screen, and then you also will see a C minor right here, and this is C major, so you get a tension there, and then we're gonna go back to the G minor right there. So I do want to note that the BPM of this song is, or at least the first track, is in 166, or in single time it is 83 BPM. So I'm just using double time because a lot of people like that. Let's go ahead and count those bars of how it's played so we can understand the note length and what it means to lyrical content per se. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So it's whole notes. It's whole notes. So it's a little different if I was to play it like this. You know, I was playing like quarter notes there, and you can hear the difference that the track wouldn't vibe the same. So, you know, I already got something planned for it already. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start the bass part of it. And we're going to figure out what we're going to do. So I'm going to go back into Scalar because I want to show you something really cool with Scalar while I have it up. And I'm going to go ahead and just press start, and I'm going to record the notes in here. So, you know, all this right here, F major will fit the G minor in there as well as the C minor. And so what I can do is just select the C minor scale right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select B, and it's going to bind it to a part of the keyboard. And now what I can do is record this. I'm going to go ahead and so what I'm going to go ahead and do is lay out some stuff here using Scalar, and then I'm going to burn it to MIDI. So let's go ahead and start. So now that we have that, let's hear it back. Of course, I'm going to quantize, so I'm just going to go in here and press Control Q. Also, while I'm in the piano roll, I'm going to go ahead to this drop-down menu and show you, I'm in FL Studio 20, and I highly recommend that you do update your FL Studio. So what I'm going to do is, for guys that like the keyboard edit, I'm going to go over here to scale highlighting, then I'm going to go to G. I'm going to right-click on the G, and now I'm going to select a minor natural. So it's already a minor natural, and you're going to see how it works in a second here. And that way, well, let's go back into the piano rolls. Now you can actually just draw stuff in if you want to draw stuff in, but those are whole notes here, so I'm good. So the next thing you want to do, if you want to burn the MIDI, which is a new feature in FL Studio that I think is really good, is you can select the input port. You got to have a a MIDI instrument in there, which I already have one. Something that sounds a little close to what it sounds like in the new song that Drake and Future did. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the input port to 1 right here so it can receive what's in scalar. So I'm gonna go to scalar. I'm gonna go over here to this option and I'm gonna select the output port to 1. So now I'm gonna go over here to scalar. I'm gonna make sure that the UI is still in scalar, is still showing. I'm gonna go to burn the MIDI. I'm gonna burn the current pattern. It's gonna bounce it down, boom. And there we have it. I can just exit out now and just drop it into the Xpand. And now we have it. Now you don't need a scalar anymore, so you can just turn that off. But you have to do that for third-party plugins. Now that we have that, we can just start on the drums here. So what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be really easy. I'm gonna right-click on the channel since I have the hi-hats already. And I'm gonna fill, I believe, 2 steps will work. Let's see. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the 808. So I'm just gonna do about the same pattern, which is something like this. Snare pattern, pretty simple, just like the snare hitting on 2/4 with some fills in between them. So let's go ahead and do that. What I'm gonna do for this next part, I'm gonna go ahead and clone Xpand here because we're gonna use Xpand a lot in this video, and I'll have that link in the description box. It usually is on sale for like 10-15 bucks. $30, either way, it's a really good deal. A whole bunch of sounds if you can't afford like Nexus 3 or the Triton plugin. But I'm gonna go ahead and not use pianos for the second part. So I'm gonna go ahead and use bells. I don't know, I like bells. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spice up the kick 808 because it just needs like a double somewhere around in here somewhere. Stretch it out a little bit. Right here. And then I'm gonna press Control and click on it. And let's see. Let's hear it. Not that part. That does sound cool, but I think it sounds better if I put the chop right here. So Alt U, and I got the chop. Let's hear it. Yeah. Okay, let's start on the second track now. I'm gonna go to a different pattern, then we're gonna talk about the music theory behind that one. So I have scale open right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just play this part right here. I think it is, yes, it's an E minor. I figured it sounded very the same as that. I play this E minor scale all the time. So it's an E minor scale. Very common in music, and this is also a part of the cowboy chord relationship here. So if you don't know, cowboy chords are chords that you learn in general on a guitar, your basic white keys. In certain cases, it depends, but all right, let's lay down the 808s real quick. I'm gonna be lazy on this next part and just drag some hi-hats that I like into the track. Next part is really easy. Just add some claps on the 2 and the 4. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're gonna use the same snare and we're gonna do a little bit of fills while adding that on the 2 and 4. And you'll hear what I'm talking about. I mean, everybody does it in trap beats anyway, so. All right, so a quick tip, if you want to get like the same reverse effect, you can play the reverse effect of the melody if you want it to sound like Future's joint, but you can just use Alt and Y after replacing it, after doing it in reverse, and it will turn the actual melody around. So you can choose flip horizontal after pressing Alt and Y, or flip vertically, and it'll do exactly opposite. This is something that you guys might want to do or whatever. All right, let's go ahead and separate these drums. All right, now we're gonna go into song mode, and what I'm gonna do is drop pattern 5. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to bounce this track down. This pattern number 5, I'm gonna consolidate it, and what I'm gonna do is right click on this part of the playlist. It's gonna ask me if I want to consolidate this track. Yes, I do. And then from here, I'm gonna make sure that I have it at cut remainder or warp remainder. I'm just gonna cut remainder, and then I'm gonna bounce it down. You can bounce it down at a higher quality if you want. I do recommend that, just to get the best quality out of the loop itself. And we're going to make sure that it has note markers, save tempo information, and so that way it'll be loopable, or when I change the BPM a little later, it'll be fine. So now that I have it in here, I can just delete this part because that's all we're gonna do here. And I'm gonna play it back right now. A little bit too much going on, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back into the track here. I'm gonna go into pattern 5, put it back in here. I'm gonna remove some of the stuff that I added to that track. And if you have audio that you don't want to use, you can purge your audio by going into your tools and go into micros and purge unused audio clips. So that way you can delete those clips so you don't have so much of a big file at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and erase one part of it. I'm going to go ahead and mute this Xpand part right here. And then I'm going to go back in here and play it. And I'm going to see how it sounds like with just that part reversed. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I had the reverse on there on this right here. But what I want to do is use the time stretching mode, and what I'm going to do is put it on stretch because we're going to utilize the BPM, and I want it to time stretch in real time. I'm on the original pattern right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this area right here. I don't know what it's called, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on that and press Control C so I can copy that pattern, and then we're going to put it in 2, and then we're going to put in 3. And with these patterns here, I'm going to make different distinctions. And this is not normally how I lay out a beat, but since it's 2 tracks and I want to, make it convenient, I'm going to make sure that I, make it easy as possible for myself. So I'm going to delete everything from this part of the track here, except for the main melody. Now that we have that, I'm going to go and move on to pattern 2. And I'm going to do the exact opposite and keep the second melody. And then we're going to go to pattern 3. And then we're going to delete this melody again. So we have the melody with the drums. Now we're going to lay it out in here. I'm going to play it real quick. I already know how it starts anyways. Just a 4-bar intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. 4 bars. So I'm going to just add that in here. Boom. And we're going to continue to do that. So since it's 4 bars, that's 8. So what's next after that? So 4 plus 4 is what? 12. So we're going to keep it 12 bars. And so this next part, really difficult part to do for newcomers, even for me too as well. So remember, it does have a BPM change in it. So the original BPM of the other track is about 166 or 83 BPM in single time. Highlight this area. And from here, I'm going to highlight this area, and I'm going to go to the BPM, and we're going to make an automation clip out of that. So create automation clip. So right click on the BPM, create automation clip, Now we're gonna make sure that we can see the automation clip itself. Remember, it's gonna get slower at this part, so we're gonna lower the BPM right here. Play it from that part. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it down, do a little mix real quick, and then I'm gonna play the whole entire track as a whole. So let's hear this joint.
Trap Kendo.
Life is good, ain't it? Yep.
Woo.
So tell me how you feel about this cook-up. I think I want to do more videos like these because anything that I want to cover now, I want to make sure that it is something that is up to date with what everybody is listening to. And that way we can kind of solidify or future-proof the videos on this channel or whatnot. So just let me know. Give me some feedback in the comment section. I definitely want to hear if this was helpful to you, and I appreciate y'all.